Hello and welcome to the Hot Show. Here's your host, Hot the Cat. Oh, it's a hot show and I don't know how it's gonna go. It's a hot show and I can't guess what's gonna happen next. So come on and enjoy yourself. Let's do the hot show. Howdy and welcome to the hot show. I'm Hot the Cat. Thanks so much for being here. Have no idea what's going to happen tonight. It's a really great, weird, free night tonight. I want to thank especially our poster maker tonight, Shelton. Great. Follow their work. Really enjoyable. Let's bring them on. Hey, Shelton, how's it going?
Howdy. Howdy doody, neighborino.
Oh, hold on. Can I hear you?
Hello.
I can hear you.
I just said howdy doody, neighborino.
I'm pretty good. I went to go get some Thai food before this show, and I walked in, and there was somebody standing in kind of like the vestibule between the two doors, and they kind of looked at me and they said hi in this kind of like sort of intense way, but like was like friendly. And so I said hi, and then I walked out, and then as I walked in, got my food, and I was walking out, and they said it was this guy, and he said, "I just have to say, I don't want this to be weird, but you are so handsome."
Wow, that's lovely.
It was really nice. It was a very nice, strange little event. He was on the phone and everything. Like he took a moment out of his phone call to tell me that. It was such a lovely but strange thing to happen. But it put me in a pretty good mood.
Wow. Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I feel like every time like that's like happened to me where somebody is just like stops like what they're doing to compliment it, like it's just like you didn't have to do that and you did. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. Absolutely.
You now know what it feels like to be in a women's bathroom at 2 a.m.
Is that a common occurrence in a women's bathroom?
Kind of. I feel like people compliment your outfit or they like affirm the way that you look, which like if they like your outfit, they just say like, "Oh my god, I love your outfit." Like, and you don't have to do it, but you say it like if you do like their outfit or
Yeah.
like I don't
That's
know.
nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So how are you doing tonight, Shelton?
I'm doing okay. I'm actually, you know what? I'm really excited. Can I share something? I'm gonna like move my computer. Yeah. I am now 29 years old. As you know, you celebrated my birthday with me.
I did.
And part of getting older is like being.
Oh no. How funny. Okay.
I like accidentally clicked the exit button because I was moving things around. Part of getting older is wanting things for your kitchen that are slightly expensive but you can't afford, but then being really proud when you find them for cheap. And for 3 years, I have been wanting a Dutch oven, and they sell this one at Aldi that's like highly reviewed as the best Dutch oven for the price. And I got it. They're always out. And I'm so excited.
Yeah. let's get a good look. Have you opened the box yet?
No, I haven't. I just brought it upstairs like maybe 10 minutes ago.
Wow. So we might get an unboxing on the show.
Yeah, I guess we will, and maybe even a chili episode. If I,
Oh, fun.
I think I unboxed. I think I have to. Well, actually, the proper unboxing is
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's good.
the top. This is the front.
That's good. It
Um,
looks like a nice. It looks very nice. Like
I think it's hard to tell whether it's blue or green, but I'm hoping it's like teal.
right.
We'll find out.
Somewhere in between.
Oh, all right. I have to get a box cutter or a knife. Knife is. Are you excited?
So exciting.
It's almost like a thrift store episode, but Amy goes to Aldi version.
Amy goes to Aldi.
Also, here's the other thing that I bought at Aldi, and it's just like look at the design on it,
It's a nice design.
and it's a. I like because I have ADD. I like to fold my laundry like in boxes to separate them.
Oh, it has a different design on the other side. That's nice.
It's similar.
It's similar, like a complementary but different.
Yeah, I wish like you could get a good sense of the color. It's like really bright and cool.
I mean, it looks pretty.
My grandma is in the midst of moving, so I have acquired lots of items, which, similar to a thrift store, are old items, but they're from my grandma's house. And I'm also very excited about those. There's not very much counter space, so I'm trying to make that in order to unbox. It has a weird smell at first.
Can you angle your camera down slightly? Yeah, it's nice to see your face, but
it smells like cold cardboard. It's more teal than blue. I'm excited.
Great. I like the dark teal too.
Yeah. I think this is so when it gets like warm, like instead of it all going to the center and drooping, it like goes to each dot.
Ooh.
There's a user manual, which I'll probably never look at again. And then there's one of these little thingies that I think this is the weird smell. Do not eat. I'm gonna throw this out right now.
Okay. Great.
There are little plastic things on the outside, I'm assuming to keep the lid from like squishing it. I don't know if you're supposed to keep those. Anybody watching in the chat, please let me know. Oh my god, it's heavy, it's heavy, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's a Dutch oven.
Ta-da!
Very nice. It does have a nice color. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't come through as well as it could, but it does look nice.
Yeah, I'm hyped. Do you think chili is the first thing I should make? Oh, Jesus. It has a funky smell to it right now.
I would definitely wash it first.
Yeah, I want to wash it first. Please hold while Amy washes pan.
Okay, while you're doing that, I think I might play the little song for this episode. As you may know, this is a free space episode. This is something that we do every so often. It really is driven by anything that we want to do. Anyone who wants to be here and do anything for this episode, you're basically welcome to do it as long as it doesn't violate the rules of maybe legality and like Twitch. Otherwise, pretty open to whatever. You can just pop in and do whatever you want. But there's got a little song I wrote that goes like this. Like a free space on a bingo board. It's a cheap way to give you more. For a free place in the fridge. You don't have to try and make it fit. For a free day at the gym. Any way you play it, you can win. Oh, you didn't pay, and nothing's at stake. It's rare to see these days. It's a free space. Very nice, very nice.
I really enjoyed that song. Thank you for spicing up the night with a free space song.
Yeah, thanks for enjoying it.
Is that always the free space song, or is that a new one?
I wrote it actually for the first free space episode, and we never got around to a time where it made sense for me to play it. And then the second free space episode, I did play it at one point, but I think it was kind of like I'm just going to play it, and then we kind of moved on to other stuff pretty quick.
Ah, well, I like it. It's fun, and it's really catchy. I feel like I felt like moving my booty a little bit.
That's fun. I liked your movement at the end there with little Dutch oven pot jazz hands.
I was thinking, like, when cymbals crash in like a marching band.
Oh yeah, and you're kind of letting the sound out. Yeah. Letting it resonate.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny, like, there's so many things that you could do in a free space, like literally just about anything. And what we're going to be doing at this moment, it seems, is washing a pot.
Yeah. One could say that we are not putting something off.
It's true. Yeah, you seem quite anxious to get to using this Dutch oven. So,
I don't know if I was when this episode started. I was so excited to share it. But then you were like, I think you have to watch that first. And then I was like, I should also get to these other dishes in order to get that into there. And I found the motivation now.
Wow. There is, of course, the "Don't Put It Off" song, which I could play. It's been a little. I recently recorded it, so I feel like I could probably play it pretty well. Don't put it off. No need to make excuses. It's not too tough. Just sit down and do it. I'll call your bluff. You can't floss your teeth. Go for those suds. Don't you have floors to sweep? Or if you've got time to watch this show, it's probably something that you know. You wanna push until tomorrow, but don't put it off. This is, of course, the time of the show where we invite anyone who is watching now live on Twitch or in the future on our YouTube archive, whenever I get around to putting those episodes up, to find something in your life that you've been putting off, and just do it. just take a moment. You can stop watching if you want.
Just do it.
Do it.
Am I wearing the jeans that he's wearing in that, or no? I think he's wearing basketball shorts.
Oh.
Just do it.
Well, I'm trying to think of something for me that I've been putting off.
Well,
what do you think?
Have you been putting off having fun?
Not really. I kind of feel like I've been. I don't know. I've kind of been having some fun in my life a little bit.
Have you flossed your teeth? You mentioned flossing your teeth and yourself.
I have been flossing my teeth as well. I guess this is pretty silly, but there's an email that I kind of have to send. Maybe I'll send a quick email here.
Yeah. Don't put it off. Send that email to the recipient. That you have to send it. Hot the Cat, I have an interesting question for you.
Sure.
What is your favorite tiny noise that happens in your kitchen?
Favorite tiny noise that happens in my kitchen? I really like the sound of boiling water. That little like.
I really enjoyed the visual that came with that as well.
Yeah.
I can't do it quite as well as you just did.
I do.
Looks like you're juggling imaginary balls. That's a good noise.
Yeah. What's yours?
I really like what made me think of that was that when you're washing something and it makes like this noise.
Mm-hmm.
It's like squeaky cleanness.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's I think what they mean by squeaky clean.
Well, have you ever washed your hands and it like you wash your hands and it makes that noise and you're like, wow. I think it's just that both things are wet at the same time. But it's kind of amazing when that sound happens.
But it's also interesting because there still is like a certain kind of friction that is required still too.
Do you think that both things have to be clean in order for that noise to happen? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like one thing is like a smoothness happening. So I don't know.
Anybody in the future watching this episode on YouTube who has the this and who wants to join the chat, please help us out.
Also, we'd love to hear your favorite tiny noise that happens in your kitchen. If you're watching right now, we'd love to hear any comments, see any comments, or in the future too. It'd be great. What's your favorite tiny noise that happens in the kitchen?
This is kind of a good one. I want you to guess what it is.
I feel like I'm recognizing it, but I'm having some trouble.
I'm gonna keep watching other things and see if you can get it.
Well, I am going to try to send this email real quick.
Cool. Don't put it out. All right, here's the big reveal. Watchers, listeners.
Oh, you have to put it down further.
I know. I was.
Oh. Mm.
And it's kind of cool because depending on where you hit it, it makes a different noise. It's like higher.
I once saw this video of I believe he was Japanese. He was a Japanese musician, and I saw him do a performance one time. It was online, but where all he had was two like slightly different rocks, and he just hit them together in different ways, and it was really fascinating, actually.
That sounds really freaking cool. Have you ever seen those there's like a tribe in Africa that has like water music?
Oh yeah, yeah. I also saw Human Planet. Is
I
that
have a clip from it, so I don't remember. Is that on Human Planet?
It was on Human Planet.
That was. I just saw the clip on I think it was YouTube or something.
That was very cool and fascinating, and I also really liked that a lot of what they did with that had to do with like they were very rhythmic, but a lot of the sounds that they were making with both the like with the water, and then they were also like doing these like whistles and calls and stuff. Like,
Yeah, that was cool.
They were all like done so that they would seem so that they were like sounded like the sounds of the forest and like the animals of the forest. So it was like a lot of like bird sounding calls and stuff.
It has been a while since I've seen it, and I only saw like clips from I think I saw it as a reel on Instagram, which could be like I saw a lot less of it than you.
Right.
But it was like the way that they like hit the water, and it like they got so many different tones from it based on like their hands like, suction, and like how far away from their body it was, and whether the water was flat or like.
And like how much how much like surface area they were using, and like the amount of like pressure they were putting into it. Like it had a lot of different tone to it. And like they also like got into some really cool rhythms, but it had like a very natural like flowing feel to it. It was very nice.
Yeah, super cool.
It's also been quite a while since I've seen it, but I remember it made quite an impression on me.
Yeah. Do you follow that? Like, there's an. I don't think you have an Instagram other than the Hot the Cat Instagram, but there's a really interesting. I don't know. It's just called Dust to Digital, and it's an Instagram where they share like all sorts of different kinds of music and music history and like different kinds of instruments and like world music and even sometimes like rappers and stuff too. It's pretty cool. This ladle is my favorite ladle. My friend Hot the Cat brought it to me because I left it at his house. He brought it to me in the Loop in Chicago.
It was left here on chili night.
It was. And I use it all the time. Thank you for returning it.
Well, I'm glad that I don't know, you did mention that you use it a lot, and I didn't want like we were going out of town. That was when we went to Montana, I didn't want you to be without your favorite ladle.
Which is funny because I actually ended up just getting a new ladle from my grandma's house, which is also great. I have to decide which utensils I want to keep and which ones I want to get rid of. Because right now I have a couple duplicates.
Well, I would like to ask something, and I want you to feel comfortable with saying no to this, but I want to see if you would be willing, if somebody reached out to the hot show at it can be at hot the cat. Let me see. I think that's around here somewhere. At hot the cat or hot the cat at gmail.com. And reaches out for a ladle if you would be willing to send a ladle to someone watching on the hot show.
If someone responds, perhaps I might. I do like both ladles, and they both serve different functions.
I mean, I guess like if there is something that you know that you are going to be parting with.
Aha, yes. In that case, yes.
It doesn't have to be the ladle.
Sure. I'm open to this.
Okay.
Perhaps we can do the thrift store find with all the things that I got from my grandma's house this weekend.
Check out these grandma finds.
A tiny butcher knife. How's your email going?
Well, that's good.
I'm sure I distracted you a bit.
I am definitely a bit distracted from it, but I'm working. It's definitely getting further along.
This is a difficult utensil to clean.
Which one?
Rice strainer.
Oh yeah.
You kind of have to make sure the water gets on every single part and be pressure enough to get it clean.
I always find you just have to kind of do them. It helps to do them as quickly as possible. Generally, that's true. I think for a lot of strainers, you gotta just do them because when they're wet, they're easy to clean, but when they dry, they're not so easy to clean.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think there was a lot in there. I think it was just rice. But I could see what you're saying. Like if it was wet rice and then it dried, and then it was like halfway through between the strainer, it would kind of suck. A tiny butcher knife, a little sailor man.
You can play that song in a second.
You're good. I don't know if anybody else who's watching, listening, now or in the future, if you get a song stuck in your head from the hot show, it is kind of hard to get out of your head sometimes. And then you have to look through the YouTube archives to find it.
So, coming soon is going to be an album of many of the songs. There's going to be a volume 1 of the songs from what I consider to be the first season, but it's very loosely defined as the first.
61 episode season.
No, it's actually the first. I can't remember how many at this point. I can try to find which episode it was that started the second season. No, it's before that.
Or was it like after the birthday episode? Like the
It was before that. These ones. Oh yeah, okay.
I'm just checking you from your email. Don't put it off. Try
No,
to make excuses.
it was around episode like 37, 38 or something that I thought would be a good time for a new season.
Nice.
Uh, and I'm actually kind of starting to feel that way. This could be the first episode of a new season, or maybe last week, maybe next week. It's pretty gradual. It's a slow shift between seasons. It's not. I feel like most shows kind of they go along, they have some episodes, and then at a certain point, there's this really sharp point where they go, "Oh, this is a new season now." Um, I've kind of been feeling like maybe the hot show. We kind of slowly shift into a new season as I start to do different things and kind of get bored. Like I stopped playing the intro song the same way anymore um, as I was doing it.
Recently?
Yeah, over these past two episodes, I played it tonight. I played it a new way that I'd never played it before, and I'm considering making it be a new version. It's much higher up than usual. I used to play it. At first, it was it's a hot show, and I don't know. And then I was playing it. It's the hot show, and I don't know. And then today I played it. Let me see if I can do this. It's the hot show, and I don't know how it's gonna go. Yeah.
I like it. I like that they're, I've heard every single one, but I didn't really put together that they were different. I thought that they just changed depending on how you were feeling.
Yeah, no, it's really kind of the only thing that is actually different about these different eras of the hot show.
I like the second one. It's kind of like punk, which I feel like the don't put it off one is kind of like that because
Hmm.
it's like a
Maybe that seems to be kind of a theme because the thrift store song is is kind of a punk song too. Like I always think of it sort of as a Mountain Goats song, which like definitely the Mountain Goats has like a real punk aspect to him.
Do you want some thrift store grandma's house that finds?
Here, let me before we move out of this section of the don't put it off section of the show here. I just wanted to read out the email that I have here.
Nice. I still have a couple dishes left, so I'm gonna keep doing those.
Hi, Caitlin. I wanted to ask about the temp position you mentioned that goes until the end of the year. Is it still available? And do you have more details? Thank you. Hot the cat.
I think that works.
Um,
I would, except for instead of it, I might say, is this position so, or like be more specific about the position. Unless you don't know anything. Then
I don't really know very much at all about it.
Then
I
you're good.
just know that it's kind of a part-time thing, and it goes until the end of the year.
Then you're good.
And I've had a previous conversation kind of where it came up with this person in the only conversation that we've had. So I think they'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I just sent it out, so, don't put it off.
You didn't put it off. Good job.
Okay, well, I guess while you're doing that,
Can you hear the sink in?
What?
Can you hear the sink? It kind of sounds nice with it.
Well, that's nice. Though I did realize that is really similar to that little song I wrote that one time. Is an owl born wise, or does it have to learn? Does it earn its feathers through the life it lives? Is an owl passing by, still finding its way? Does sunrise contain the mysteries of the day? Wild thing, creature of the forest night, what secrets lay within your mind, teaching you how to do right?
What inspired that song?
Uh, what inspired that song was Garbanzo's journey from being a raccoon, really aspiring to be an owl.
Huh.
And at one point during an episode, I'm not sure if you were there or not. I mean, you likely were because you're here most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, he said something like like as if like he was doing something and that he didn't feel like he was good enough to be an owl. Like, and I was struck by this like idea of like, I mean, is an owl born wise? Like, I feel like, I mean, there's like a wisdom there, kind of, but like, really, everybody has to learn. Like, it's not like just being an owl, you like get everything immediately. It's you really have to like you have to make mistakes. You have to like learn how to do stuff. Um,
I think isn't wisdom. I think knowledge is like learning things by like a book or by experience, but I feel like wisdom sometimes comes from making mistakes, you know? Like that's why it's like old people tend to be like wise, you know?
yeah,
Or
right,
tend to be described as wise. Not all old people are wise.
right. Well, in that like I don't know, like wisdom. It's just like I don't know. It's it seems like there's it's easy to imagine that some people just like have wisdom or something. But like I think anyone who has wisdom has gained it.
I agree. I feel like it seems like wisdom comes from like not just like knowledge of experience, but knowledge of empathy and understanding like others' experience, or at least like listening to other people's stories. So like you could learn those from books, you could learn them like from listening to other people's stories like being passed down. You could learn from your own story like experiences. But have you ever seen Good Will Hunting?
Been quite a while, but yes, I have.
I have a photo of myself on the bench where Robin Williams gave that iconic speech. I actually recently looked that up. I think it might even still be in my Google search history. I can't deliver it as well as Robin Williams, but like it's just such a good for anyone who hasn't seen it. If you just type in pause and then just type in bench scene from Good Will Hunting, and it's like, and then I'm comparing two different things. There's a poem that I really like by Anis Mojgani where he says this line that says, it talks about how people are sometimes angry at children because they're still learning to pick up things after themselves. And like kids don't automatically know to clean up after themselves. Like you have to, that's a taught thing. And it's the experience of learning. Like that's part of what's so fun about being a kid is that like, there's all these things that like responsibilities that you don't necessarily have, but I don't know, there's this other part of Good Will Hunting when Robin Williams gives that speech and just says like there's so much about experimental learning that like, yeah, this kid is smart. He's wicked smart, but he hasn't had the life experience to like be vulnerable with another person in love and be empathetic to others. And like part of him is talking about like emotional intelligence and knowing that there's a difference between like just being intelligent and being emotionally intelligent, and how that's another part of his knowledge that he needs to craft. And if he's not going to respect therapy, then it kind of gives him a take it or leave it part. I really went off on a tangent there, but I hope it was appreciated. And hopefully your screen hasn't been frozen this whole time. Unless it has. Perhaps it has. Oh my god, it has. Good.
Can you see me? Hello.
Hello.
I muted myself because it was starting to feed back a little bit, and then I was starting to look on a website for what the speech was because it's been too long since I've seen the movie.
The transcript is on there, and I was going to read it out loud, but I don't know where my phone is at.
I keep hearing it buzz a little bit, so it must be close by.
Maybe. Wow, there it is. Yeah, had recently Googled. Also almost done with these dishes. We should do an episode where you just share everything you had recently Googled.
It's an interesting idea. We could try it as a segment tonight.
All right. So if you haven't seen the movie in a while, Sean is the therapist, and
Robin Williams.
Yeah. Robin Williams is Sean, and Will is a genius kid that recently made fun of him during their therapy session to be a dick because it's required therapy. All right. This is not going to be as good as the movie. I'm sorry.
I didn't expect it to be.
Sean and Will sit in the bleachers at an almost empty park. They look out over the pond in which a group of school children on a field trip ride the famous swan boats. Will, so what's this place? You have a swan fetish? Is this something you like to talk about? I'm going to try to do his Boston accent, but it's bad. All right. I was thinking about what you said to me the other day about my painting. I stayed up half the night thinking about it, and then something occurred to me, and I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep and haven't thought about you since. You know what occurred to me? No. You're just a boy. You don't have the faintest idea of what you're talking about. Well, why, thank you. And he says, you've never been out of Boston. He says, no. This is the monologue. All right. I can do this. It's so bad. Robin Williams does it so well, and I'm just so disappointed that I'm just reading it off my phone. Okay. So if I asked you about art, you could give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo, you know a lot about him, I bet. Life's work, criticisms, political aspirations. But you couldn't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You never stood there and looked up at the beautiful ceiling. And if I ask you about women, I'm sure you could give me a syllabus of your personal favorites. And maybe you've been late a few times too. But you couldn't tell me how it feels to wake up next to a woman and be truly happy. If I asked you about war, you could refer me to a bevy of fictional and non-fictional material. But you've never been in one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watched him draw his last breath, looking to you for help. And if I asked you about love, I'd get a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been truly vulnerable. Know that someone could kill you with a look. That someone could rescue you from grief. That God had put an angel on this earth just for you, and you wouldn't know how it felt to be her angel. To have the love be there for her forever, through anything, through cancer. You wouldn't know about sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand and not leaving because the doctors could see in your eyes that the term visiting hours didn't apply to you. And you wouldn't know real loss. Because because that only occurs when you lose something that you love more than yourself, and you've never dared to love anything that much. I look at you and I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I don't see a peer. I don't see my equal. I see a boy. Nobody could possibly understand you, right, Will? Yet you presume to know so much about me because of a painting you saw. You must know everything about me. You're an orphan, right? Will nods. Do you think I presume to know the first thing about who you are because I read Oliver Twist? And I don't buy the argument that you don't want to be here because I think you like all the attention you're getting. Personally, I don't care. There's nothing you can tell me that I can't read somewhere else, unless we talk about your life. But you won't do that. Maybe you're afraid of what you might say. It's up to you. And then he walks away. It's better if you watch the scene with Robin Williams. But
yeah, he was a pretty good actor. So
one of the best. I think I would argue that he's my favorite actor.
Really?
Yeah, of all time.
I mean, he was really great.
The range.
I know.
Mrs. Doubtfire is one of my favorite movies, but Good Will Hunting is also a favorite. There's a lot of good ones.
And then he played like he had that stretch kind of a little later on where he played some like real creepy sort of characters.
I've never seen 1 Hour Photo.
I
I'm afraid.
haven't either, but um, there's a movie, uh, Death to Smoochie. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
He plays like uh, it's been a very long time since I've seen this movie, but he plays like a children's TV show host, but like
Also in Mrs. Doubtfire, he plays that.
really, that's funny.
Yeah.
But he is not a nice guy.
Huh.
Uh,
Okay. I'll add it to my list. What was the name of it?
Death to Smoochie. Edward Norton also is in that. It has been a very long time since I've seen that movie.
Is it
Probably
creepy?
what?
Is it creepy?
I wouldn't say it's creepy. I didn't think it was creepy. It was just like more intense than you might think it would be.
Also, he played the genie in in Aladdin.
Right. I mean, of course. That to me is still, I think, one of the first roles that I think of when I think of Robin Williams, because he like the energy that he had in that role was crazy, and you don't even see it. You can only imagine what it was like actually being like in the room while he was doing that, because he was just, I'm sure, all over the place uh, with so much energy.
Yeah. Have you seen Dead Poets Society?
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of
Another,
my favorites.
yeah, another like serious role that he just does great in.
Oh, he was in Night at the Museum too. I forgot about that.
Um, yeah, Hook. I know that it's.
Iconic.
I know that we this has come up before briefly. I think I mentioned it on the show that about Hook. The other people on the show didn't really care too much, but you texted me, like even though you could have commented, you texted me directly uh, how much you love Hook. Uh,
It's like we should watch it as friends sometime. I
yeah,
just
I agree. I agree.
really like that movie. Also, the guy who I follow the guy who played Rufio, or like I at one point I was following the guy who played Rufio on Instagram. I can't remember what he's up to now. I think I had a life update, but I forgot now.
He I don't know if you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, Great show. Uh,
Okay.
Highly suggest it if you want to take the time to watch it. Um, but he plays the character Zuko and does a great job. Uh, and apparently, he was also like a great, just like a great dude, like for like uh, fans of like Avatar and stuff. Like he would just be like so like generous with his like time and like uh, I don't know, like he just seems like a cool dude.
A story about him keeping up with a pen pal, which I'm still not sure is true or not, but it was wholesome. I'm just mind blown because like I feel like I've looked through this list of movies that he was part of, but I didn't realize I forgot about Fern Gully.
Oh, okay, wait. Are we going back to Robin Williams, or are we going
No, he's in Fern Gully.
Robin Williams or Rufio?
Fern Gully. Sorry, Robin Williams. My brain exploded when I saw this, and I forgot about how much I love this movie.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
Robin Williams and Tim Curry in the same movie.
Wow, another treasure there, Tim Curry.
Also like a great film about like the environment, and I remember it like whatever started my like eco anxiety as a child like was definitely started from Fern Gully. That was my do you want to hear about my first nightmare as a child?
Sure.
My first ever nightmare that I remember as a kid was like I would just have this reoccurring nightmare of the wood chipper in that movie. Like, for some reason, it was just really scary to me, and, like, I had a dream that I, like, had to s like, that every time I had to stop, like, the wood chipper, like, and I couldn't get it done, and then, like, one time I, like, got stuck in it, and, like, I was a little fairy, and it was a bummer. Um, but that was my first ever nightmare. Do you have a memory of your first nightmare?
I would say that I have a memory of the first nightmare that I ever had, but I did have a particularly strong nightmare that I think shifted my life somewhat after having, and I don't think I could be more specific than that. Um, but
That's okay.
but what it was that I had recently moved to a new house, um, and in the dream I was like in my room in this new house, looking out the window, um, and something like I saw something approaching, like flying through the air, and what it was Spider-Man, um, but like standing on this like weird object um, that like I I don't really know how to describe what it was like, but uh, I guess like sort of like a weird flat like well like kind of thicker in the middle and then like thinner on the outsides like plaster. Um, and it had
Did it
like
have a support beam at all, or was it just floating?
it was just floating through the air. Spider-Man was kind of riding on top of it, and it was coming to the window. Um, and it came up really close, and then just kind of floated outside the window. Um, and there was on top of the like just flat white kind of plaster, there was like just a sphere, kind of that was part of it. Like it was kind of made of the same material and stuff. And the thing that really just completely terrified me was the realization that the thing that Spider-Man was riding on was also alive. Like it was like it had like as much like agency and like thought and stuff as like a person. Uh, and that realization terrified me so much.
How do you feel about horses or horseback riding?
Um, I mean, I've never done it. It seems cool.
It's pretty cool, honestly. I was just curious if I don't know, I put those 2
Well,
things in my head.
I mean, like that's like kind of an interesting thought. But I think the thing was that like it didn't like I feel like had started like getting the idea of like how animals were like alive and stuff, but this was not this was just like a thing. Like this was like a weird plaster floating thing. Like it didn't it was like my mind tried to make sense of what I was seeing and it couldn't. Like it just couldn't happen. And it just ended up just like terrifying me in a way that like stuck with me for a long time. And also I I do think that it marked the end of this period in my life where I remember I used to um, have those experiences where I was like in my room or like in the house that I was staying in, and I was like walking around, and then it turned out to be a dream. Uh, and
Yeah,
that
I think like part of what sounds scariest about that is that it's like lucid dreaming or like that parts of it like are familiar and like that seems like the scary aspect. Like that it because it felt because it was something that is not real in a space that is real.
right,
'Cause
right,
you're and it part of it is probably just, like because you move to a new space, your brain has to, like, get used to the space, and part of that is, like, when you're sleeping, like, it gives your brain space to, like, make sense of things, right?
mhm.
I don't know how that works exactly, but, like, they they talk about that in wow, what is the name? Inception or whatever, like, when they have the architects, like, make things or, like, they have to make places from parts of things that aren't too realistic, you know?
Yeah. Though I have to say, as someone who is uh, a dreamer and really likes dreaming, uh, I couldn't. I like that movie, but I kind of also can't stand it.
That's okay, I understand. I don't I feel like I like parts of that movie, and there are other parts that I don't like about it.
I I just couldn't stand the idea like of putting rules on it. Like, oh, if you go in this one and then you go into one like this, it's at 10 like 1/10 of the speed or whatever. Like, and as if that would it's like a constant thing, that it just like ignores what the experience of dreaming is actually like at all.
Yeah. It's just it's crazy because like, in you can dream so quickly, you know? It's like so many thoughts happen so fast.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate, like or sometimes, like, it's exciting when you realize that you're dreaming in the middle of a dream, and
Mhm.
then, like, you can add on to it and make it more fun, but then you start to wake up and it's like, "Oh, no.
Yeah.
This was just
So
getting fun."
that there is a I may have told this on the hot show before, but there was one hot one dream that I had.
Thing, not putting it off.
Um, I had this dream where years after I had stopped working a job at a video store, I found myself in the video store again, and my job at the video store, one of the things that I had to do was check in the movies as they came back. In order to do that, you'd have to read the little number that was on there and type it into the computer.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and so I was doing that, and I had this one, and I was looking at it, and every time I looked at it, I was like, I thought I just typed this in right, but it's wrong again. Like it, I just kept being like, the numbers like changing, which of course led me then to realize like, no, I'm dreaming.
Yeah, because you can't see, like, skews and like, the clock times.
Right, right. And the clock time is often the one that does it for me to realize that I'm dreaming. That's been my most successful one. But so I realized in this dream that I was dreaming, but I had been like doing this job, and I was like, but I haven't even worked this job in so long. And I got so angry. I just was like, fuck! Why am I wasting my time doing this in my dream? I could be doing anything.
Dude, have you seen Waking Life?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, that's like I watched that when I was in high school and I did not shut up about it for like a year. I watched it my junior year of high school because this guy that I had a crush on posted it on his MySpace and he posted a little ants thing and I was like and then I watched that movie and I was like I fucking love this movie
It's great.
and I still like when we talked about like your curriculum of like when like the things that you need to watch to understand someone, that's like on my list. I suggested that to Jason, and I don't know if he's watched it yet, but I think he's watched clips of it, and it's so freaking good. It's like
that is a really great one. I yeah that I've always enjoyed that movie a lot. I think it does a lot of really great things.
I really like the way that they explain like language and the word love. That's one of my favorite scenes.
Another one that it's been a while since I've watched it.
They talk about like how there's two people, they're having a conversation about language, and it's really cool because there's a lot of visuals in it.
Well, and the whole thing's rotoscope.
Yeah, it's rotoscope, but when they're talking, like they're talking about language, and like it's cool because when she says when I say the word love, and then like this, so there's like this wisp that comes out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That like shows like when she starts to say it, like how the word like forms, almost like how I would visualize it coming out of her mouth, and then like to the rhythm of the way that she says it too, like, and she says the word love, and then like you think about like, and you talk about all of the different meanings of the word love, and like how I think there's like a Japanese word that means like all the different kinds of love rather than just like romantic love. Because there's like friendship love, there's like parental love,
There's
and
so many different loves.
there's so many. And like love, like passion about like things that you like, and there's so many different kinds. So, but it's all based on, ooh, look at us coming full circle, all based on like your experiences. I finished saying that whole thing from Robin, from that whole Robin Williams monologue from oh Lord, I just forgot the name of this movie.
Good Will Hunting?
Yeah, from Good Will Hunting. But I don't know, there's part of that song that made me think, because at first when I heard you sing the song, I was like, oh, I haven't heard that before. But I thought that you said, what makes an owl white, not wise? And then I was like, I don't know this one. I was like, what do you make? I was like, owls come in all sorts of colors, but like when they're white, they are really, really white. And then I was like, oh, wise. And then I felt kind of dumb for a second. And then I was like, you know what? You just heard wrong. But I don't know. I think that my context behind the word wise in language is that it's like experience, or like a good listener, mainly experience based on like your own experiences or experiences that you've learned from others via like storytelling wise.
All right, so I'm going to try this. Creation comes out of imperfection. It seems to me, it seems to come out of a striving and a frustration. This is where I think language came from. I mean, it came from our desire to transcend our isolation and have some connection with one another. It had to be easy when it was just simple survival. Water, we came up with a sound for that. Tiger behind you, we made a sound for that. But when it gets really interesting, I think, is when we use that same system of symbols to communicate all the abstract and intangible things we're experiencing. What is frustration? Or what is anger or love? When I say love, the sound comes out of my mouth and hits the other person's ear, travels through the Byzantine conduit in their brain, through their memories of love or lack of love. They say they understand, but how do I know? Because words are inert. They're just symbols. They're dead. And so much of our experience is intangible. So much of what we perceive cannot be expressed. It's unspeakable. And yet, when we communicate with one another and we feel we have connected and think we we're understood. I think we have a feeling of almost spiritual communion that may be transient, but it's what we live for.
I really wish that noise sounded better when I. There we go. It was loud enough. Yeah, I don't know. I remember watching that movie when I was like in high school, and I just wouldn't shut up about it. And none of my friends had seen it, and none of them would like take the time to watch it, except for that guy that I had a crush on, and I was too shy to talk to him.
I do I do wish that I had tried to speak with a slight French accent. Um,
Oh, like the girl, like the person in the movie.
yeah, because she has a very specific.
I couldn't do the Boston accent for.
Yeah, I know you tried.
I just can't, or I'll laugh. I feel like I could do a good one, but it just sounds like New York. No, it just sounds like a New York accent.
What's her name? Mm-hmm. Before sunrise. Julie Delpy.
Delpy. That's a kind of fun name. Delpy.
Delpy. Have you watched those movies too, Before Sunrise?
I don't think so.
Oh, really? You've never watched Before Sunrise? I bet you would like Before Sunrise.
What's it about?
It's made by the same director, and that couple that's laying in bed in Waking Life and is the one who says that line.
Uh-huh.
It's them sort of like meeting, but only having enough time to be together like until sunrise. So it's just like an evening of them talking and stuff.
Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable, and there's three different movies in the same in the series that are the same couple, Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke, and but like at very different times of their lives.
Man, that sounds kind of to one of my other favorite movies of all time is The Beauty Inside.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
It's a Korean film, and it is like it is a love story. But I guess the best way I want to explain this is so I was really a big fan of like Matthew Gray Grubler, and they did a YouTube series which was like an American version of it, with all these different actors, but it was voiced by him. And every day this guy wakes up in a different body. So like he could be an 80-year-old man.
Does he wake up in the same place that he went to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you don't have to tell me too much because I do like experiencing things without knowing too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't ruin anything more than that. That's just the concept of it. And I always like when I'm in, I hope no one, whoever dates me, ever watches this episode. Because I like when I really like someone, I'll watch that movie with them. Like, because you have to like, it's one that like, knowing that it's one of my favorites, like, it I feel like it's kind of like an emotional movie to get through. So if and when like I don't know, you have to really trust someone in order to watch it together. That's I don't want to ruin more of it. Have you seen I'm trying to remember the name of this movie. I watched this on like my first date with like someone that I was with for 3 years and I'm trying to remember the name of the movie now. It started with one, but I can't remember. I'm gonna text my friend Julie because she knows.
One. I. It's not a first date sort of thing, um, but I have watched Synecdoche, New York, with I think most of my partners after it came out, um, which was my favorite movie for a long time.
Never seen it. Have no idea what it's about.
Uh, very hard to describe. Uh,
Oh, it was called Your Name. It's an anime. Thank you. I realized in the middle of my text.
hmm. Your name. I feel like I've seen that name around, but it's interesting because nobody that I've ever, I think just about nobody that I've ever known um, seems like seems to find the same thing out of it that I find. Uh,
I don't know why I find that funny. Sorry.
I,
I mean, it's your favorite movie. You're gonna find something different every time. You know.
yeah, but like also like okay, so part of why I I think that one of the reasons it's sort of spent a long time at the top of my list is that when I went to go see that movie, um, I think that was the like when you like go see a really like good movie, and you come out of it and you just like kind of feel at peace and you like don't want to like say anything because it's just like you just kind of feel the quiet of like letting it soak into you kind of.
Yeah, I definitely understand that because I feel like I'm normally someone who wants to discuss it afterwards, but like you have to like I like when a movie is so good that you have to just like take a breath afterwards.
Yeah, and when I saw that movie, I couldn't speak, I think maybe almost for the rest of the night.
Wow.
Um, like, I felt like I was floating as I was leaving the theater. Um, yeah, it really had a big effect on me, and there are a lot of aspects about it that really kind of changed how I thought about a lot of things. Especially like the slow. Like this won't ruin anything.
What's the name of it again? I'm gonna write it down.
Synecdoche, New York.
How do you spell that?
Synecdoche,
Oh,
comma New York.
comma. New York.
Uh, it's a very strange movie. If you know Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind,
I love that that used to be one of my favorite movies, and then
or
I have a tidbit that I want to I,
uh,
I will add, but
uh, or Being John Malkovich, uh, or Adaptation, uh, um, all by the same director or by the same writer, not the same director. Synecdoche, New York was his directorial debut, and uh, they're all such strange movies.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. So what's your tidbit?
Okay, so do you like have you ever uh shown someone one of your favorite movies and then they want to make out during it and you're like, "No, pay attention." Like Because I tried to show someone Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and then they just wanted to make out. And I I wanted to make out, and I had seen that movie a lot, but I was kind of hoping that
Yeah, yeah. I
we
know, I get what you mean. I don't know if I've had exactly that too much, just because like I I guess like when I watch movies, like I just like I don't know, like I wouldn't say I've made out through very many movies
that's
because I just end up like I'm just too like focused on that. Like I never put on movies to make out during, you know?
that's fair. I feel like
But I do know what you mean, like where you're showing a movie to somebody and like it's important to you, and then like they are just like on their phone or something, and you're
yeah.
just like, oh, I, 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 I can't force you to like be interested in this, but this is something that means a lot to me.
Yeah, it's hard because sometimes it's just that it's not their thing and they can totally be your person, but it's just not their thing and you have to be like, okay, all right, sorry. Cuz I don't know, I think you have to be different when you're with someone you have to be different enough to like different things, but also enough similar things, but I don't know. I remember showing one of my favorite albums to a partner and them just being like, I am so sorry, but their voice is so whiny that I can't, and I'm like, it's okay, it's not everybody's cup of tea, and you just have to be okay with that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. Play a little song if that's all right.
Mhm.
Remember to hydrate wherever you are. Just find a tap water bottle, clear mountain spring, and let's take a drink.
I don't know if you were singing that because I was drinking this one. There's actually booze in this, so I felt guilty, so I had to drink
No,
a water too.
I was I sing it because uh, I had been drinking this that had whiskey in it, uh, and thought I should probably drink some water too.
Yeah, well, you never know unless I pointed that out that this wasn't water. Also, it's kind of concerning that this is so clear and then this water is just not clear. I'm only 99% concerned about that, but it's okay. Are you ready? I'm almost done with my dishes. And then I'm ready to share some thrift store finds or grandma's house finds.
Cool, great.
Why is getting rid of things so difficult?
Grandma finds.
You need the items before you can make a tune to it.
No, I think that would be complicated. But I guess that's how I wrote that last one. So
Yeah. I need the audio for it so I can change the my TikTok video.
well, yeah, you made a really good video for that.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I got so inspired. You were like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I was like, "Wait, I want to make this myself." And I just couldn't sleep until I got it done, and then I made that TikTok video.
Yeah.
Follow me on TikTok. Amy owns a camera.
Amy owns a camera. Check it out. What I liked so much about that, and I was actually because we were talking about collaborating with Ryan on it. I was a little afraid that like you had done such a nice job of like matching the like having such like a quick like shifts, like quick cuts between these little things that really matched like the kind of like feeling of the song.
Yeah. What if we had Ryan cut together an episode of the Hot Show so it sounds like a podcast where we know what we're talking about?
That would be impressive.
You'd have to pick a really specific one where we stay on topic. Or a free space episode where we change topics a lot and then just turn it into it.
I will say there are some that would be good for it. The problem is just like so many of them are just so long, and it's so much to go through.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that to Ryan.
I
Our video editing friend.
I have thought before that it would be nice, like, to bring in these episodes sometimes and go a little bit shorter.
Oh Lord, do you want to see something funny? Do you know what this is?
I do.
For those of you, actually, no one knows because this was not on the Hot Show. This was a.
Well, you mentioned it, I believe, last week or the week before.
This was my Mr. Peanut costume, but it is now in the garbage because I cut it too much and it smells. So I'm gonna put it back in the garbage.
Thank you, Mr. Peanut.
I got out of a cab and I just said, "I'm Mr. Peanut. Thank you very much." Like when I got out of the cab after leaving the party while I had been intoxicated, and now my friend Derek, every time I'm leaving, goes, "I'm Mr. Peanut." Thank you very much. I don't know why it's so funny to me, but it just is. Also, I feel like what movie did we just mention that I said where the person was making out the whole time? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. What a long title. Like that's such a it's kind of a dark romantic movie, and especially like a dark romantic movie for someone to make out to in the background. But I remember that we were like I was making out with this person, and we had like an Xbox, like when that new like video, like what is that called, the Connect or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, you could like see your green body like moving on it, and I was like, I need to get away from this. Like, it's stressing me out. And then that scene was playing where it was like where like they're tiny and it's him as a kid in the kitchen, and I was like, I can't make out with this scene happening in the background. It's disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, that's a strange one.
Oh my God, we're closing in on the last couple dishes.
I wonder if there's a good celebratory song that I could play.
We are the champions, my friend. Bum, bum. We'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we
are the champions of the world.
Queen is a great band.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Have I ever mentioned on the show that I had seen, like, I saw Wayne's World with Ryan Kaplan for the first time, and I once went on a date with someone that did a Wayne's World impression and had planned it in advance to be cute. And because I was significantly younger than this person, and my family, like, didn't really grow up watching movies, I didn't get the reference. So this person, I got we had met at a party. It was a Rocky Horror Picture Show party, and I remember he didn't have a phone. I gave him, or like he didn't bring his phone with him because this was during the flip phone era, and he wrote down my phone number like in a little, like a notebook that was like this, but smaller. And when he picked me up for the date, we were driving and he put on a hat that said Wayne's World, which I hadn't seen, and did like, and put on Bohemian Rhapsody as a tape, put the tape in the car and did that impersonation. And I was like, oh, I love this song. Like, me and my friend Rachel used to listen to it in her car all the time. And my friend Rachel had seen Wayne's World, but I had not.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad that I missed this person's reference, and it was really cool. I think about that like every time I hear, not every time I hear that song, because there's so many memories associated with that song. If you've ever been to a karaoke bar or been anywhere in the world, I don't know. There's a lot of references to that song. Ooh, that's a good sound. It was like one spoon wrapped around the other, and then it made a maraca noise.
I will say that this, you know how there's like sounds that just kind of like get people, like like people say nails on a chalkboard or stuff like that. Um, I don't really have much of that, but the one sound that does sometimes get me is silverware, like scraping against other silverware.
Huh. All right. Well, I will add that to the list of no-no sounds.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like too bad in this context or anything, but just
What was the noise at the beginning of this episode?
Oh, yeah, I know that you were. Part of why I thought of it is that before the show started, Shelton put in the chat that they couldn't stand this sound. Bananagram.
I'll be right back. Mine is inside of a bag inside of here.
Yeah, I thought I heard some plastic there.
I need to take this off. When I was in college, I used to keep my bowl inside like of a thing of bananagrams. So people thought that I just would bring this game with me everywhere. But I was bringing weed.
Did you also bring the tiles?
No.
Just the bananagram.
Because the tiles were in a plastic bag at my parents' home. But at a certain point, we did get the tiles, and I would just bring bananagrams also.
Wait, before you take that back, before you put that somewhere, what I think we should do is each take out some tiles, just sort of randomly, like until we can form a word.
Okay.
Well, Lord, I made one really quick, but nope, not that one.
Beep. You gotta reverse it so it.
Yeah, hold on.
There you go. Beep.
Beep, beep, beep.
Should we keep going? That was kind of perfect already.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. I think that fulfilled what I wanted out of it.
Okay. Is yours not in the bag inside of it?
No,
Live on the edge.
yeah, I guess.
You know what's crazy is I had wanted this. I noticed that like I had never opened this, and I must have bought it last year, like or I think maybe a year ago, at least a year ago. I had bought bananagrams because I feel like I normally bring them to like we normally play at my grandma's house, and I probably just don't bring it with because we have it there. But I'm gonna start bringing this to social events and see how it goes.
I mean, I like playing bananagrams if we're ever at a social event together.
Plus, look at how cool this looks as a container.
It is I feel like that is part of the success of bananagrams.
I set myself in the fucking eyeball. Ow. Okay, I'm gonna put this away so I don't get hurt.
Yeah, be careful.
That was so fun though when it like whipped around. I was like,
Yeah, you definitely looked like you were having fun with that.
Hot the cat, are you on the other line?
No? What are you talking about?
Are you there?
Hello?
I was kind of hoping you would pick up the bananagram.
Oh, I guess I put it away. I couldn't tell that you what you had in your hand. I thought you just had your phone. It was hard to tell.
It's a yam.
Yeah, I gathered that.
It's okay. I'm gonna try to gather all the small items that I got from my grandma this week. Because I'm fucking done with my dishes. Woo!
Yeah.
Man, that felt really nice. This is an ice cube maker. This isn't from my grandma's house, but I am in the middle of doing this, so I'm going to explain it to you because it's kind of cool. It makes spherical ice cubes. My roommate had 2 of them, and I kept one when she moved because she didn't want to bring it with her. And my other roommate kept the other one. And it's cool. Cheers. Alrighty, Grandma's house finds. Are we ready?
Check out these grandma finds. Tiny butcher knife. Look at this grinning sailor man. This little pan. Pyrex pot. Check out what Amy got. While sifting at their grandma's house.
All right. These are tiny little sailboats, and they're all primary colors, and they're so cute. They're little candles.
And it's cute, very cute.
And my grandpa was a sailor, so it's cute.
Wow, so your grandpa was the little sailor man.
Kinda. I wouldn't say that he looked nearly. I think he was a well-shaven, like he wasn't in the Navy, but like Navy-looking man. Not nearly as disheveled as that old sailor man.
Was he a grinning sailor man?
I would say so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Screaming sailor man.
Here is a little serving tray.
Right.
I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this, but it's nice either way. And maybe it could be a place where I put all the items that I need in the morning before I go to work.
Very nice. Very nice.
Or just a serving pan. Okay, this is a really cute one. Are you excited?
Serving pan. Okay.
Here's another serving pan. And it's so cute.
Yep.
It's
Come and get it. Great.
I like that it looks like it's like a French thing. Like I thought it was going to be in French, like comme n'est pas or something like that. But it's just come and get it.
Just because I happen to pull this, I feel like
I love it.
I made that on a previous hot show and used it to write down your recommendations.
Well, there's a tray, and then there's one other item, or there's two. There's one that's kind of difficult to find because I put it over here where my dishes were at, and it's so. Oh, here we go. It seems large in this, but
No, it seems pretty small. I can see what it's like compared to your hand.
it's so tiny. There's one other one.
Is that what do you think is the purpose of that?
I have no idea.
It's like a little small thing, like a creamer or something.
If you or anyone in the chat has any use for this, I would love to know one so that I have a reason to keep it. I'm going to keep it either way. But I would like to find some sort of use for it. I feel like you could put like a little bit of sugar in it to then.
Yeah, that's why I said like creamer or something. But like
I could keep it inside my sugar. Actually, I had already taken a spoon from my grandma's house that was her spoon when she was a baby, and it is inside of the jar that I use to dispense sugar into my coffee.
that's nice.
Which I was like, this would make a good use for that.
You already have something.
Yeah, and then there's another tiny one.
Yeah, that's also really small.
There was a large one that looked exactly like it. And I think they were my grandpa's.
What a funny little object.
It's kind of dirty inside.
Like what kind of dirty?
Dust?
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I'm gonna clean it. It seems kind of gross to me now. It's not coming clean. It seems like one that has to sit in the soap for a hot sec. So maybe all my dishes aren't done. But this is a very small one. It doesn't take up much space at all.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you've done some good work. I feel like if you gotta let it soak, you gotta let it soak.
I at one point have you ever lied to yourself and said that you're letting something soak when really you just let it sit there for like 4 days?
I mean, yeah, of course.
Uh, I remember.
I would say I always when I like say I'm letting it soak, I have every intention of just letting it soak, but then it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. My I was living with someone and it was like a partner, and I remember I was like, "Hey, are you gonna wash that pot?" And he was like, I'm letting it soak." And I was like, "For 4 days?" And he's just like, he just like was sitting at the sink, like laughing, like the quietest laugh that was just the most affirming, like, "You caught me." Like, I don't know why it was so funny to me, but it was like, because we've all done it, you know? I'm surprised none of our lovely friends have joined us tonight.
I know. I'm surprised too. I mean, there's some of our lovely friends that I know couldn't make it. Uh, Garbanzo, of course, hasn't been able to make it for quite a while due to a work schedule change. And I also know that Max is visiting family, so it makes some sense not to make it.
But no Skunky this week.
Yeah, no Skunky, no Ryan. I talked to Luda. Luda, I believe, sends some regards to the hot show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is kind of funny. It's been a while since there's been an episode quite like this.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been very nice. It's had a nice, a little bit of a nice flow to it.
I feel like I want to learn the thrift store song to sing along, but I always forget the words, and then I sing part of it in my head, and then I can never finish it.
Oh, well, I mean, if you want, we could do that real quick.
Check out this thrift store, find a tiny butcher knife. That's all I got.
You're making a lot of noise. Look at this grinning sailor man.
Look at this grinning sailor man.
This little pan.
This little pan.
And Pyrex pot.
And Pyrex pot.
Let's check out what you got.
Let's check out what you got.
While sifting for these thrift store finds.
While sifting through these thrift store finds.
Check out these thrift store finds. This tiny butcher knife. Look at this grinning sailor man. This little pan. Pyrex pie. Let's check out what you got while sifting for these thrift store finds.
That has unlocked a part of my brain, and I suddenly feel calm.
Good.
I don't have to just rely on you to know the words now.
Well, that's nice. This is going to be a silly segment of this show, but it's a part of the show that, as I was eating my dinner earlier, thought that should, for some reason, happen, even though it's a terrible idea. And it's that I want to eat this crab rangoon because it's delicious. but it's a really crunchy one. I don't know if you're a crab rangoon person at all.
Allergic to shellfish.
Shelton, shellfish. Okay, got it.
I encourage you to eat it, and I'm sure that it's probably imitation crab anyway.
Yeah, that's probably true. But it's for some reason I just liked this idea of eating something really crunchy on the show. If you want to eat something crunchy too, I invite you to.
Ooh. Man, our listeners with misophonia are gonna go nuts, but I'm gonna eat some celery.
Let's eat something crunchy. Let's chomp it down.
Actually, I low-key was gonna chop some celery anyway, so I'm excited to be finishing two things. Ah! Ew, there's butter all over my hand. Fuck.
Butter?
Yeah.
Are you a Butterfingers?
I don't know why I'm laughing this hard over that.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I didn't think it was that good. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it so much.
Right. Peanut butter, where you at? I think that it's interesting that crunchy peanut butter is crunchy, but it likely almost never makes a sound.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Because it's surrounded in butter. If you want to draw it all, I also have a notebook.
Yeah, we could do a little art. It is one of my favorite things to do.
I do also have to urinate before we do that, though.
I probably don't want to go for too much longer. That's so nice.
I'm in the same boat, but all right. Do you know that you can really easily clean a pot with the, like when you're cutting off celery, like just the edges of the celery or like this part, you cut it, you boil it in a pan, it will get off. Like if there's like something that you have like burned in the bottom of a pan, like maybe you had accidentally left beans and they had burned onto the pan and it made your whole apartment smell terrible. I'm getting too specific. Anyways, you can boil the edges, like the parts of celery. You could do the perfectly nice kind, but I just, in order to decrease food waste, just use the parts that I would normally probably be getting rid of anyway, or like the interior of it, like this part. You crunch that baby up and you put it in a pan with boiling water. Cleanest fucking pan you've ever had in your life.
How long do you boil it for?
I mean, until it's like you just boil, maybe like not very long.
Oh yeah, okay.
I would say maybe like as long as you would leave ramen in after it boils, until it's like, you know, simmering. Well, past simmering, it's already boiling.
Well, yeah, but like you can bring it down to a simmer. That's often what happens.
Yeah. Right, crunchy food time it is. I hated the way that did that. All right.
Really, a very different crunch, but also very nice. I like that.
I think yours was a really good, satisfying crunch sound.
I'm pretty partial to your crunch sound.
I feel like I enjoyed hearing yours more.
Maybe it has to do with the like hearing it from the outside rather than the inside.
It makes sense. I wonder if people with misophonia, their own chewing. No, because their own chewing doesn't bother them usually. It's just like other people's chewing. For anyone who doesn't know what misophonia is, it's like a disorder where tiny repetitive noises like chewing or loud breathing or a variety of other examples like make someone so angry that they need to leave or like the other person needs to stop chewing.
Always anger, or is it also like discomfort?
It's mostly anger.
Huh.
It's like discomfort, but like it's like it triggers like like for the two people that I three it's like you know when nails on a chalkboard, like you know how everybody has like a sound that like bothers them like that? Like
Hmm.
I can't stand the sound of like mayonnaise leaving a jar or like sometimes it's sometimes it's if it's a sound that I can't see what's happening too and it's just really loud. Ah, I was waiting to talk to you about this thing, and I'm so glad that we're on a show right now where you know when you had talked about the space that with Elastic Arts where it's an all woman jam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe we talked about that initially, uh, not on the show, um, and then we did mention, I think, either last week or the week before on the show briefly. Uh,
Maybe I did mention it on the last show, but I had gone.
the Pleiades series, for anyone, it's in Chicago at Elastic Arts once a month. It's for uh, it's a series for especially improvised music, um, where uh, for as a way to um, highlight and create community with women and femme non-binary uh, people.
One thing that you had said was that they make space for each other in the jam,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought sounded so nice. So I'm definitely going to check that out, which I'm excited about. But I went to a couple art shows recently, and I feel like so rarely is there something called like a sound art experience that's like uh sensory friendly for people who either have like are part of the ADD or autistic community.
Mm.
And I went to an art show where it was like a free jazz jam that was just so fucking loud. Like it was just like, you know what? I get that like some people are into that and it's like
Yeah,
I think that there's a
right.
space for that, but they also kind of need to tell you ahead of time like this is a free loud loud all instruments playing on top of each other in a non-harmonious way to be and it will be loud and non-harmonious like and not make any harmonies. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think that it's nice to I think sometimes like it's nice to be in a space where like it's okay to just make loud noises and not listen to each other, or maybe listen to each other a little bit and try to make some noises together. But and I say this as like a non-musician, but I feel like as part of like the visual art space, I very rarely like attend an event that says like this is a sound art performance and it's something calming and does not induce anxiety. Do you have a similar experience?
Um.
Because there are a few where I've been like, okay, you know what? This is kind of calming, or just like it's different. You're making music out of an object that is not normally used to make music or something.
I don't know. I guess I've been to like sound things that like are quiet, but like there are also many that I've been to that like I don't know, like they're very like minimal, which is something that I can appreciate a lot. But like there's also uh there's like something about like nothing like there not being much to it that I like makes me just kind of like sometimes wonder like uh I don't know like what the creation of that like means like and that's something that like I I don't know like it I feel like I've encountered that especially in like academic kind of like sound art sort of things um, where there's like a concept but like it doesn't necessarily translate to like getting that out of the sound, like out of the experience of it, which I think is something that happens in a lot of like academic art or music.
Yeah. I just, part of me wants to know that if it's because if it's considered, like, if it's not considered music, if it's considered sound art, does that equal anxiety? No, or does that equal, I don't want to say discomfort because it's just like sometimes it is like a lot of times it's like ominous sounds that are unsettling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which is something I'm just interested in exploring, and I felt like you would be a good brain to ask about that. I don't know why I balanced that on my nose, but it was oddly fun.
Yeah. What I kind of realized in that moment that you did that, um, and I was kind of starting to move a little bit, like feeling like it would be nice to move, is realizing like I think what I like what a free space really kind of means to me, you know, like um, it's very easy, I think, to say that there's this free space here, um, and it's not like I've I've really felt like totally um, not free in like what we've been doing and everything. Uh, I don't know, like the songs that we've been playing and stuff. Like it has been like, oh yeah, let's do that for a while. You know, let's talk about that for a while, or let's see where that goes. But like, there's something about like the realization of just like, you know, I really just wanted like, the idea of like, I just want to do this thing right now. I'm gonna do it. Like,
That's
the freedom of like, there's no real reason to like balance that thing on your, you know.
Is it a straw? Is it a vegetable? Is it a pen?
Never know.
I feel like I would be like, I need to know what it is, but I because we're free and we're just chilling, I'm okay with it. You know? Tell me what it is. Just kidding. That celery had a lot of dirt on it when I ate it. So I'm washing it now.
That's good.
No, I put dish soap in this pan and then started rinsing it. Fuck. Now I have to double down on the cleaning it. I have to rinse it twice. It's fine.
It sounds really fine.
It's fine. What if it tastes like soap? No. Why am I so angry? Oh God, getting that yell out was kind of like soothing. Oh,
I don't know if I'm really ready for an oot night.
yeah, that's fair. I feel like that wasn't an oop. That was more of a.
I know. I recognize it for what it was. You were really just trying to bring your frustrated sound back to a hot show related thing, but
That's exactly what happened. I will say, letting that yell out felt nice.
you know, it's really a very silly thing seems to be happening at this moment, which is I think 2 hours and 9 minutes into this show, I feel like I'm finally like hitting a certain stride of like, oh yeah, like this is what the hot show is. Like, like, I feel like this is something that happened a lot uh, in kind of those first times when it would end up just being like the two of us at the end of the show. Um, and there was a freedom to it, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, whatever we felt kind of like doing.
Ooh, I just took a bite of that and it was like sweet. The celery was sweet.
Oh, interesting.
It was weird because it was like a really tiny part.
Oh.
Like, ooh, that's delicious.
Wow.
Maybe it's the soap. I don't know. I'm gonna take a big one and see if the same thing happens.
Oh. Yeah, it's a nice thing to just kind of like feel like, oh, you know what? I could actually just be myself instead of like trying to do something, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like I so often like feel like I'm trying so hard to make this be something.
You're like a creepy Darth Vader. I love it. I wonder if Darth Vader's
To the hot side.
annoys people with misophonia.
I'd say we should invite someone, but I don't think they'd like being here.
My sister has it. I can text her.
I mean, it'd be great to 2 hours into this show, get a guest to come on.
She's been in the comment section before.
Yeah, I know. It was very enjoyable to have her in the comments section. I do want to say, there is somebody that I don't know if it's been a single person that's been watching this whole time, or if it's been like a series of one person. I really would love to invite you to come on this show right now. I can put a link in the comments. You're really welcome to come on if you feel like it.
If not, that's okay. But you're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's also okay. You're just you are invited, is all I'm saying.
We should have a "You're Invited" song. Like,
That's a great idea. It should probably be a pretty simple one.
what if it sounded like the "Somebody's Here," but like.
Nobody's here.
I know, but like.
I just wanted I wanted to be clear for anyone watching. I kind of played it, but like no, nobody's here. Maybe I could play that. Play it backwards.
Okay.
You're invited to. You're invited. Come on the show.
Please don't.
Oh. No, I don't know if that's going to quite work the way I was just trying it.
Yeah, I feel like you could also just make a welcome song, and I'm sorry, or not. Yeah, you're welcome to make it however you like.
You're invited. You're invited to come on the show. I just played the same song. That's the "Somebody's Here" song. I just sang differently.
It was slightly different. It's like higher.
Oh. Yeah. Somebody's here. It's Skunky.
Hi.
Hey, Skunky.
Hi.
Welcome to the free space.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what we just discovered? You know, like the top part of celery, like
Yes.
where it's like there's the normal celery, and then there's actually I'll just bring up. Oh, I have two.
I find that you call it the normal celery problematic. All the celery is valuable.
I agree. However, this little part, it's like sweeter.
Yeah. Delicious.
I never had eaten.
Did you know this, Skunky?
Yes. I eat every part of the bison. I eat every part of the celery.
Hey, have you been holding out on this information from us?
Nobody asked me.
That's fair. We didn't ask.
You don't feel like it's your obligation to like share this sort of information with people?
I mean, I feel obliged to share. Like, I firmly believe in each one teach one. But there's so many things that I've learned because of the richness of my life that it's often difficult to have an arena to share all the things that I've learned.
The hot show is a free space, my friend.
I would love if we
eat
took
the whole.
Go ahead.
No, you. Sorry, I'm just being obstinate.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What I was going to say is I would love it if we took this opportunity, and I encourage anyone in the chat as well, to each go around and say something that you've learned in your life that you feel obligated to share, um, to teach, you know?
Ooh. I have to pee really bad, so I will be right back, but I am listening from the other room because you are very
Let
loud.
it rip. Bring us with.
Nope.
I don't
Okay.
think we can do that.
I mean, not the hill I want to die on.
Yeah. Now this is I'm gonna think. I want to think about. Yeah. I don't know. Let me think about what I want to teach about the world here from my life. Uh, hmm. Oh, okay. So here's something that I recently kind of like discovered, and I feel like it is a good thing to teach. Uh, if you are in a place where you can see the stars decently well, um, there is uh, there is a collection of 5 or 6 stars that kind of make a W. That's Cassiopeia, uh, and if you in another part of the sky, uh, there is kind of like a 1 dot, and then down below it, like 3 dots. Like kind of, it's pretty big, like a big, like, kind of like T sort of thing. Uh, and that's Cygnus the Swan. If you follow the line of like the point going out, that like third, the cross of the T kind of, um, the the line going out from Cygnus, it points towards Cassiopeia, and along that line is the Milky Way.
Huh.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I want to see this
Here.
in person. Can I get a visual?
Yeah, I'll draw it.
Find it. Can you find us a star map, maybe?
Yeah, I feel like
Okay,
a star
okay.
map might work.
Yeah, I'll try. Okay.
I can see how a W can, or a T can point to a W, but I just
Yeah,
noticed your.
Cassiopeia is a very easy constellation to find. It's very bright and it's very distinct.
Do you know how to find the North Star?
Do
You
I
follow-
ever with the fucking drinking gourd?
I need to pause for a second and mute myself because I'm just gonna laugh.
I mean, you can laugh on the screen.
Yeah, follow the drinking gourd.
Is it the big dipper? I think it's the little dipper. And it points to the North Star. I don't know.
I hope I'm right about this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unmute and snort. Let us have it. Come on, Piggy.
It was a snort. I need to like if I laugh, if I hear myself
we're
like
fixing
too
to make you snort.
and then it like echoes, like I just laugh harder, and like I have like a certain point where like I like can't make eye contact with someone, or I like will laugh like too hard, and like
What's wrong with that? Does it feel good? Do it.
I had that problem with uh, Erica at a party, and I was like, I can't make eye contact with you. I need to go in the other room, or it will be like I will laugh too loud, and everyone will be staring at me, and they'll be like, "What's so funny?" And then we'll have to explain, and it won't
Nope,
make any
nope,
sense to them.
nope.
Or
If it
it's like,
feels good, do it.
or it's
If
like
it feels good,
it was
if
it
it,
was a joke that was so funny that like I had to try to not laugh, otherwise we would have to explain it, and it was
no,
like
forget it.
it
Why?
was
Why
would
be
make me
serious?
mad.
If it feels good, do it. Why are you trying to be so dignified?
You know, it's not that I was trying to be dignified. It's that I didn't want to have to explain my joke.
Nope.
It wasn't that it was offensive. It was that
You don't owe anybody anything.
look at how large this bowl of soup is.
Just have a good time. Life's for living. Have a good time. Wait, what kind of soup is that? Cream of mushrooms?
Ye-
Is that going to be an ingredient or something, or is it going to be just like by itself? Dinner.
What do you
As it
think
were.
it's going to be in?
I don't know, some kind of casserole.
What time of year is it?
Autumn.
Late autumn.
Are you fixing to make green bean casseroles?
It is my assignment every year.
Hell yeah.
I cut real mushrooms, baby bellas, put them in there with real green beans and a shit ton of those crispy onions. I tried making it with like I handmade the crispy onions one year and it wasn't as good.
Oh, here we go. I finally figured.
If you do shallots, like do you have a mandolin as like a kitchen gadget?
I do.
If you do, okay, put your mandolin on like an 1/8 inch, and if it's an imperial, and dice them up, blast them in some hot oil, and it's got to be shallots. It can't be onions. Baller topping for the green bean casserole. But save the oil because that's very valuable, highly useful.
Shallot oil.
The star chart, friends.
All right. Can you see my my mouse here also? My
Yes.
cursor.
Yes.
All right. So we got Cassiopeia. It's a W here.
Yes.
We got Cygnus here. It's
Yes.
we got
Swan.
often you can like the ones that you can see the strongest are these three here and this one here.
Lowercase t. I was picturing an uppercase T.
I mean, it kind of is because what it like you can kind of just see this and then this.
How do
And,
you pronounce the big star in Cygnus?
no idea. Dennet. I don't know.
Fucking
So
den.
if
Didn't-
you follow this,
Didn't.
if you follow this, what is it? Like this line, it goes pretty straight to Cassiopeia, and right along in there is the Milky Way.
Can we see a picture where it's not like a chart and it's the stars?
You are having a lot of you find one. Got a lot of demands here.
All right, I'll look one up. Star. Pictures.
Now, Skunky, do you have? I guess you actually just shared something. Never mind. I was going to ask if you wanted to share something, but you kind of shared that shallot thing.
Sure. Yeah.
That worked out pretty well. And of course, Sheldon was sharing the celery thing. I feel like we're doing pretty.
Speaking of celery, I very recently, for the first time, had celery in chili, and it was so good.
I was just about to make chili, but I think I've given up on that.
Why have you given up? What's for dinner, Shelton?
I already ate dinner. I ate a Chicago-style hot dog at a
Okay.
restaurant.
Are you fixing to go on fourth meal? Taco Bell
No.
style?
I was thinking about like meal prepping. Honestly, I was just excited. Oh, at the beginning of the episode, I shared an unboxing video for
Ooh. What's in the box?
What's in the box? I really want to know what's in the box.
An enamel cast iron? Hell yeah!
I don't want
Love
to
it.
put. I just cleaned this one. The other part's dirty, but it's a Dutch oven, and I'm excited to use it. If you have any Dutch oven recipes, feel free to text me them.
Oh, I have so many.
Vegetarian specific, if that's cool.
Okay. Chicken's out.
Yeah, probably not.
Is fish in or out?
Fish is in, but no shellfish.
Right. Okay, cool. I'll ponder and hit you another time, perhaps.
All right.
Unless you like bread. Do you like bread?
I like bread. I'm not
Dutch
normally-
oven is fantastic for bread.
All right. I just like, I don't know why I wanted one. I think it's just like one of those things that's like, I want to be able to make like a big old chili in it.
Yeah.
And I have pots for chili, but it's big, and you can like put it in the oven to cook things.
Right. Treat yourself. You deserve it.
And it was way cheaper than a normal one because it's the Aldi kind, so it was only $34.
I love Aldi.
I am looking
You
at these
deserve-
pictures of these stars, and I am confused, and I would like some help.
Regardless, you deserve everything good.
Thanks, Skunky.
Yes.
Can
You're
you
fantastic.
Can you see it? Can you? There we go. All right.
Nope.
Maybe I need to Google something different.
Yeah, whatever.
I will say I noticed that you Googled star chat. Which I mean is sort of what we're doing now. Is a little star chat. It's kind of like cloud talk, but it's star chat.
I think this is where we're at. All right. I don't know why, but this looks funny to me because it looks like
Yeah, I mean I think that's where the swan thing comes in.
The swan thing.
So I feel like this starts to look Milky Way-ish.
Oh yeah, that's totally the Milky Way.
I feel like I would recognize the Milky Way before I would recognize.
Well, okay. What I guess the reason that I bring that up is because I was in a situation where I saw the stars coming out and then stayed out for the Milky Way to come out.
Oh.
So it was like exciting to make that connection of like, oh, I know, like I've known for a long time that Cassiopeia is along the Milky Way, but I didn't realize that like which direction I guess I could look in to recognize. What's going on here?
This is a website that I used to check every day for my astronomy class when I was in high school, and it's called Space Weather. Sometimes it's just, I think there's one that's just spaceweather.com, but I think this is Space Weather Live.
I mean, yeah.
So like it says what phase the moon is in,
Right?
and then I think this is all like the the sun's like all the shit that's going on with the sun, like wind, density, magnetic field.
Planetary magnetic field.
And then sometimes they have, because I know there's also some sort of cosmic event that was supposed to happen, I think tonight, but I'm in a city. This has like solar flares. Archive, community reports, news.
I do feel like I would like to address something that like the skunk in the room sort of here. Not to put a negative spin on it, but like this is the first time in quite a long time, Skunky, that you have been coming to us live from not a truck.
Yeah, it's the first time you can see us in a hot minute.
Yeah, that's true.
What's
I mean, like,
are we just as beautiful as you remember? Okay, this seems like it helps visualize what you were talking about more.
yeah, yeah, and so you can kind of see that direction up that way. Hey, stop that music. Whatever is going on, stop doing that.
Yeah, you're gonna get us kicked off.
Whoa.
Okay, well I can visualize this now.
That's good.
How do I stop? There we go.
Yeah, Skunky, you're not driving a truck currently. What's up?
Oh, I'm on home time right now. I'm going to be deer hunting tomorrow.
HT.
What?
Home time. I don't know. I just decided to call it that.
HT, home time. That's correct. Exactly right, Shelton. You're perfectly on
like
point.
FaceTime.
Do you call that FT?
Yeah. I recently messaged a friend of mine that I used to date, and I said, like, because he likes cats a lot. And I had said, like, do you want to FaceTime to see this cat? Because there's a cat that I watch sometimes that's very cute, and he really likes cats, and he didn't know what FT meant because that means FaceTime to anyone who's younger than 30. And I think he thought I was suggesting something naughty, which was funny to me. And I think he was especially surprised when he just saw the cat there. I don't know anything about deer hunting. Can you explain if it's as weird as I'm assuming it is?
Well, okay. Perhaps may I counter that with asking how you feel it's weird?
It seems odd to me to well, I'm a vegetarian to start with,
Okay.
and the idea I respect killing an animal if you're going to eat it.
Yep.
And like fishing in that way. But Is it fun?
No, it's miserable.
Why do people? Is it like a bonding experience?
If you do it with friends, yes, it's a bonding experience. But I mean, for me, like anybody who does hunting has kind of their different idealized outcome. Some people trophy hunt and they just want to shoot something that they can have taxidermied or what have you.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have a lot of respect for that myself. But you know, if that's what they want to do, fine, live your life. I like to eat absolutely anything that I may kill. You know, if I'm going to make that choice, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah,
All the way down to the hooves.
Don't a lot of people like give their hooves to dogs?
I'm sorry?
A lot of people give their hooves to dogs, right?
Some people, yes.
Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Wisconsin, and they live near a. I think it's like a. I don't know what kind of meat that they make, but the hooves go like you can buy hooves for your pets.
Yeah, absolutely. Dogs love them. They're carnivores, after all.
I'm gonna mute myself for a second because I have to crush this ice.
Okay. But as far as hunting goes, it's a miserable experience. It's very cold. It's very boring. But you know, in the best case scenario, you might get to hang out with somebody you enjoy and trust. That can be kind of a team building experience in a sense. But ultimately, you know, you are able to ideally ethically harvest an animal. Maybe more so than say something that came on a feedlot, like a cow. So you know, it's an experience. I mean, it for me, it's very like it's almost spiritual. If I can venture into that territory, where like you kind of have this individual, personal experience of thanking the animal for its provision, its life, its experience. It's like, you know, if you go to McDonald's and get like a cheeseburger, you don't really typically conceptualize.
I'm just so angry that you didn't call it the clown this time.
Well, you know, not to be glib this time, but this is venturing into what I consider spiritual territory. So, like, for me, and for I think a lot of people, it becomes a very spiritual experience, and you're making a decision of another being that's alive, and but like for me, ethic wise, you know, I talked to my buddy Danny, who I hunt with. Like, I won't shoot a doe, even though I have a tag for it. I can, but I won't. You know, everybody.
Is that like what you're allowed to hit?
Like, I mean, depending on the Department of Natural Resources and their survey of like conservation, because typically there are more animals in the wild than there should be. So like hunting becomes a very like it's actually like a very positive conservation effort. Like in harvesting an animal, you prevent potentially an animal from starving to death, which is a pretty miserable way to die.
Well, bloody and gross to me, but to each their own.
Right. I mean, it's the brutalism of nature. So, in that aspect, like, you know, the Department of Natural Resources does a lot of work in surveying like resources available for feed and resources available for like what you can harvest ethically in an animal. They issue theoretically tags in an equivalent balance of what is healthy for the environment, so that the animals don't starve to death. Because people like hunting, it's tradition, it's team, whatever. Like, it is what it is, for whatever reason.
Are you going to hunt right now?
I'm sorry?
You're not going to hunt right now, are you?
No, I'm gonna head up tomorrow. Right now, I'm driving to a friend's house where I'm gonna have some drinks, and then
HT.
go. Yeah, and then go hang out with a lady friend
Good.
who conveniently lives upstairs from my best friends.
That's nice.
Sometimes life is good. If you leave the door open, good things happen.
I'm gonna leave the door open.
Yeah,
Anybody
in
who
life,
doesn't like that song,
life will work out. If you're receptive to let life work out, it will work out. That's
I
my
really
belief.
wish you could see what's happening behind Hot the Cat right now. Can you make yourself big, Hot the Cat?
Yeah.
There's double cat play happening.
Love cats.
Oh man, it's so cute.
Otter has just woken up from a nip nap.
Oh, he's so cute.
Now, is a nip nap different from like a regular nap?
Cat nip nap?
Cat nip nap.
Like, did Otter kind of have a little too much going?
So what I've learned is that if cats like smell and rub into catnip, they will get energized. But if they eat it, it's sleepy for them, and they'll
So it's
often.
like indica versus the sativa.
No, it's more like smoking versus edibles
Ah,
for a lot of humans. And Otter, for some reason, always loves to eat it. It's he gets so silly about it. He really loves it a lot. And often on these hot show nights, I like to give him a little extra nip.
being extra patient.
Yeah,
Waiting for the big cat.
yeah. Because otherwise, I don't know. I think sometimes he gets annoyed that I'm not paying attention and we're hanging out. Like,
Well, this is a free space episode, and Otter, you're free to do whatever you want.
what he often, I think, wants is to eat the nip.
Whoa! I love the way that he just did that. Also, when he stood up, his arms looked ripped.
He's a pretty strong cat, I think.
Bill, I think it might be Bill Burr who has this stand-up routine where he talks about his pit bull looks like he hits the gym.
Okay, so how strong do you think Otter is? Do you think he could lift up a paint can?
I think he would do well on cat Tinder.
Is there such a thing?
Just based on the way he lifted himself in that moment.
I really think maybe we should try to spitball some ideas for the name of Cat Tinder.
Oh man, cat Tinder.
I'm thinking of I don't know, just simply meow or fuzzball. So that might be a specific sub genre, I don't know, like kind of more of a like I don't know, grinder sort of thing or something.
I just feel like I'm trying to like make the word pussy happen into like just
Make it happen.
I was trying to like think how to set your cat up with your neighbor's cat. Like, oh my god, you know what would end up happening? It would become a lesbian dating app because it would be you set up your cats and then it's like if your cats are compatible, are you compatible?
Damn, that would be awesome. Lesbians love cats.
I'm like,
I heard a really cogent explanation for why lesbians love cats, and it had to do
oh,
with
lesbians love cats.
witchcraft. A, which I like, appreciate, and B, it also had to do with brewing alcohol, specifically beer. So, like, great thing.
Explain more.
Oh, sure. So
You're not just gonna like leave it there. Like
I
it
mean,
has to do with this. Oh
I
my god,
can if you want,
so
but like,
I can't handle it. It's so cute. You should pretend to be a cat in the cats, or pretend to specifically be a cat.
who, me?
Hot the cat is balancing on a couch where Otter is cleaning himself. Oh, it's so cute. Hi.
So specifically, like historically, the concept of like cats, lesbians, witchcraft intersect in a really interesting way in
Beer.
yes. So like as far as humanity goes, our water used to be garbage and hazardous because of giardia and this, that, and the other bacteria and what have you. And so like people used to make beer. They would make a light beer or a small beer that was much safer to drink than your water. And you had women who were in charge of brewing beer because men were doing other vocations. And
I'm listening. It's just this is fascinating.
yeah, I'm watching too, and it's great.
You were driving, and I was like, "You are missing out right now." Otter is like, "What is happening?" Oh, oh, oh!
And they were in charge of the recipe. They would make it in these big cauldrons or barrels or what have you. And you know there was all this grain sitting around, and they would be sweeping up the loose grain with brooms. And for some reason, for I think hygiene reasons, they would wear these pointy hats. And of course, they would have cats around because you know mice are attracted to grains when you stockpile them. And so you know they had cats, and and so you know anytime you have a collective of women together, inevitably there are a certain small or not so small percentage who find romantic interest because cool, it is what it is. And
Hell yeah!
so the intersection of like brewery history and witchcraft, and then it also delves into the Reinheitsgebot purity.
Nope. Goodbye. Bye, Skunky. Can you still hear Skunky? Because I can't.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
He's disappearing.
Well, I was trying really hard to pay attention to
Okay.
that part.
This is actually really interesting because there's this song that I wrote for the hot show one time.
Otter's like, okay, I guess you're done with me now.
That I think is exactly what Skunky was about to talk about. So I'm actually curious if I'm going to play at least part of this song. What do you know about the platypus or the stratosphere? What are the 4 ingredients you need to call it beer? Did you know the smallest bone you've got is in your ear? Or that summer on Uranus lasts 21 years? But it's the 4 ingredients that you need to call it beer. I believe this is what you were about to talk about, right?
Yeah, the Reinheitsgebot, and one of the specific aspects of a Reinheitsgebot was that people were putting mushrooms or fungus in beer,
Look at Otter.
which had psychedelic properties, which the church did not like. Because the church wants to be your gateway to God and not psychedelic fungus.
Not those witches.
Fungus is so cool. We should do a fungus episode.
Fungus. Oh, dude, I would absolutely do a little research for a fungus episode. Because
Yeah.
I do no research for anything ever, zero preparation, fly by the seat of my fucking pants.
Sometimes I wonder if you're just saying stuff to like see if we'll fact check you. But most of the time, I feel like you're not doing that. But every once in a while,
I mean, like, no lie, I'm pretty bright, but I do fly by the seat of my pants, and I love it. It's my whole life.
okay, every once in a while, Otter turns his head just like up, and it's just like a judgmental stare, and it's so good.
Maybe Otter should be the fact checker.
Oh, that was cute. Also, I like that like where his nose is like where like on the human body when you draw like a skeleton, like that's where like the nose gap is. You know?
Got that big black spot on his nose.
Yeah. But like as soon as you started playing guitar, he like turned around and then like when Skunky came back, just like gave this like look like excuse you. I don't know. It was nice.
You.
Excuse you. I'm getting a little lancy. I might need to go to bed soon.
All right, folks. I'm gonna go like drive a few adult beverages into myself with my friends, and then
Drunk history episode with Skunky.
I'm sorry?
I said drunk history episode with Skunky.
Oh, I would do that. I would research a few things.
Do you know that there's an episode of Drunk History where oh my god, he played Sam in Lord of the Rings. He's been in so many things. Patton Oswalt got like too drunk and they never aired it.
Patton Oswalt did not play Sam.
Yeah. Who am I thinking of? Sean
Astin.
Patton,
who more notably played
I can't believe I switched those two in my brain for a second.
No, they're the same. They're totally the same.
We are totally different.
But Sean Astin played Rudy in the movie Rudy.
I've never seen
He
Rudy.
played
Is it worth seeing?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The
the old brain. It's not working.
Anyways, there is an episode of where Patton Oswalt got too drunk to be in Drunk History. I want to see like the clips of it so bad. What did Otter just do? I'm sorry. I'm not around cats that often. This is fascinating to me. It's like what's going on with his ear. It's like when horses like twitch their tail to like hit a fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I think his ear gets itchy, and then we have to clean it. He's had problems with his ears all his life.
All right, friends. I'm gonna peace out. I love you bunches.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Ta-ta for now.
That was life. Do you want to leave? Is that what's going on?
I think so.
I like that. Right now, I just want to say that I like that you and Otter are about the same size on this show. Pretty soon. This has been a pretty fun night. I didn't really think to go this late because I usually want to try to be in bed before now when I'm working early job like I am. This was a real pleasure to do with you, Shelton. It was I remembered how to play this other song not too long ago. Let me see if I got it. I'm gonna play it in the past tense, I guess.
I'm gonna share my screen while you're singing because I remembered that I took a picture of a cat at the zoo and I want to share it because it's cute.
It was. It was the High and Amy show. What had? Okay, I can't sing it in the past tense. I'm trying to like change the tense on the fly. But this is a lost song because this episode is lost. Like this episode doesn't exist in the archives. Uh, it's the Hot and Amy show. What'll happen next? Oh, we don't know. It's the Hot and Amy show. We can't guess how it'll go. So relax and enjoy yourself. Let's do the Hot and Amy show. But we just did.
Love it. Also, was this cat at the zoo. It's called a black-footed cat. That was just what it was called on the thing. And me and this old retired man, like, oh, also here's a lion's balls. It was just laying like this, and I thought that was funny. And all the kids were asking. And also, there's a shrimp called a sexy shrimp. And, oh, this is.
Is this where the picture from the poster came from?
Yeah, it is. I did family portraits at the zoo, and I took. This is kind of calming. Ooh.
I like that, despite us like about to go, we're yeah, there it is. There it is. Instead of actually leaving, I started to even play the song, and instead, what's happening is that we're taking a quick trip to the zoo.
I spent like an hour with the birds, and it was really fun. Like, I was just chilling with these birds, and then this one came right up next to me, and this kid was like, "Can I touch it?" And I was like, "I wouldn't suggest that. If you try to touch it, it's just gonna fly away." And then they tried to touch it, and then this bird kept getting right up next to me, and I was like, "Can you not? Like, it's kind of much." Like it almost touched me, and then I was like, "I'm just gonna slowly glide away." I like this one. Yeah, there's a little quick quick trip to the zoo. I took some videos of jellyfish.
They
21% of the world's fresh water is in the Great Lakes.
Oh. Remember to hydrate. Oh,
Does Otter react to these sounds at all? I can't
he's,
see.
he's listening, but that's about it.
I was like literally the only person in there, which was like it was kind of fun.
I haven't been to the zoo in a while, and especially not to like the zoo as like where I've been able to really take my time and move really slowly. Because I've gone with kids, and kids are.
Yeah, well, I was there alone, and it was kind of nice because I feel like when you're with someone, like that's like the thing that I love about being a photographer is like it kind of allows you to just be like I can go to a concert by myself, and I'm just taking pictures, so it's cool. Or like I can go to the zoo by myself, and like I don't know, there was like a retired man that was like talking to me that's just like I just belong here and I just like to come here on Saturdays. I wish I could volunteer here. And I'm like, I have a friend that works here. And actually the person who was feeding the penguins was like a friend of mine. But I was there because it was a free day and I did like a photo shoot with a family. And then I just spent the rest of the afternoon at the zoo.
It's all happening at the zoo.
When I was,
Believe it.
is that a song?
I do believe it's true. Yes.
What's
It's
it
a
from?
Simon and Garfunkel song.
Oh, I'll give it a listen.
I think it's called At the Zoo.
I have a couple other records. So maybe
At the zoo. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know. Sometimes it's just uh, hard to end the show because it's like I don't know. It's like even when like I recognize that the show should be over, um, like it just doesn't feel like I don't know. It doesn't feel right to just stop it. Like I want it to just like exist, kind of. Like I want this free space to just keep being here.
Well, this isn't going to be an episode where Amy falls asleep and it's on it's on video.
No, and I also should go to bed. I have to work pretty early in the morning.
Well, do you think like the free because a free space episode is hard to end because there's so much free space, but if you bring maybe would it help to bring it back to an earlier concept that we talked about?
I don't know. Maybe we could try it.
I can dry the pot and put it on my stove.
Yeah, I think that might be a good, nice little conclusion. It's all happening at the zoo. Do believe it. Do believe it's true.
shocked by that celery thing. I'm not over it yet. Like,
Yeah.
and the fact that Skunky was just like, you didn't know that? And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm not alone in this. Other people also didn't know this.
I didn't know that.
It was kind of nice.
A light and tumble journey from the east side to the park. Just a fine and fancy rumble to the zoo. But you can take the crosstown bus if it's raining or it's cold. And the animals will love it if you do. Now something tells me it's all happening at the zoo. I do believe it. I do believe it's true. Monkeys stand for honesty. The giraffes are insincere. The elephants are kindly, but they're dumb. Orangutans are skeptical of changes in their cages. And the zookeeper is very fond of rum. The zebras are reactionaries, antelopes are missionaries, pigeons plot in secrecy, hamsters turn on frequently. What a gas, you gotta come and see at the zoo, at the zoo, at the zoo. I probably didn't get that quite right, but
I liked it. It was fun.
Simon and Garfunkel, pretty good.
I wonder if they ever play that at the zoo. You know?
I would guess that may have happened in the
80s?
60s, or no, 70s. I was 70s. Because that probably didn't come out until like 67. So,
Yeah, I said 80s. But I feel like I just assumed that Simon and Garfunkel were from the 80s because, like, my parents, like,
no. Their last album was 1970.
Yeah, like what I was saying was it's because like my parents listen to them that I just assume that, but it's just that they're a classic, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that Simon and Garfunkel, I mean, like they're definitely of their time, but uh, they also the folk quality of them makes it so that they really kind of fit well into many times. I don't know. The '60s have a lot of '60s music has a more timeless feel than a lot of like '80s music. You can usually tell if music is from the '80s.
I used to really hate 80s music, and
Yeah,
like, there's certain 80s songs that I'm like, man, I hate this, but like the like rock like anthems or like synth plus rock like stuff that just like is like cinematic in the way that's like, oh, like we're all gonna get in this car and like and go off into the sunset like as friends, like that kind of 80s music. I have a whole playlist that's called like End or the Movie, and it's like all that stuff. I love it. All right, kids, make sure to wash your pans with your celery ends.
if you
Time for the Milky Way.
are still watching this show, be sure to follow at Hot the Cat. Subscribe to Hot the Cat on YouTube. It'll really help us so that we can get our own URL and it's not just a bunch of random numbers and letters and stuff. Yeah, at Hot the Cat on most social media stuff. Amy owns a camera also on some stuff. And
TikTok.
Amy Shelton photography also, right?
On the IG.
On the IG. Otter, got anything?
Now, happy Thanksgiving to anyone who celebrates.
Oh yeah, the hot show, as is traditional of the holiday, will be taking the week off. I do want to invite anyone to also celebrate Sandwich Night, which is the Wednesday before.
Also, please check out the Instagram Celebrities on Sandwiches if you're
Great.
interested in that kind of thing.
Great, great. That was the hot show. Thank you all for coming down. That was the hot show. Thank you all for sticking around. Hope you had some fun, but now the show is done. Go on with
Here.
Hey,
Toodaloo.
love you bunches.